His experience, he's so smart. He have everything in a fighter, a complete fighter. He don't have power in the punches, but sometimes you don't need it. You know, when you that kind of fighter, you don't need it.
He knows distance well, and I don't think the other guys can like reach him or capitalize off of it.
Now, everybody's saying decision. Could a stoppage be on the table? Because you said like frustrate him.
Yeah, for sure. A stoppage is always in the works. You know, these guys fighting with 8 ounces on no head gear. Anything can happen in boxing. Just be himself. Be him. Don't listen to the crowd. Don't listen to these fans. Don't listen to these haters, these saying doubters. Just be him. Do what he do best, and that's one.
He's more of a fighter. Like he's a ring generalship. He's in there thinking. He's calm. He's having fun because Teofimo's been proving it before. And I gotta emphasize this. If someone can pull it off, it's definitely Teofimo Lopez. If Teofimo Lopez doesn't do it, I don't see who is gonna beat Shakur Stevenson.
Many boxing pros argue that Teofimo Lopez could easily destroy Shakur Stevenson because Lopez's ring IQ, quick movement, and aggressive style might overwhelm Stevenson's more technical defensive approach.
Teofimo showed you that he can fight inside, he can fight outside. He would have the advantage of power in this fight. You know one thing that I love about this fight, Bud? Shakur's very athletic, very talented. So is Teofimo. He's more explosive with power, but Teofimo is very athletic. He is very talented. You got two athletic guys, two talented guys. Again, Teofimo I would favor with the power. This is going to be interesting.
Fighters and experts point to Teofimo's natural size and strength as major advantages, especially against a skilled but lighter opponent like Shakur Stevenson.
He's a very special athlete, and as a competitor, he is one of those guys who saves his A game for a fellow elite opponent. That's when he really rises his game and shows us the Teofimo Lopez that everybody thought he was when he was a prospect. People used to look at him and say, oh, this guy is going to be the star in boxing. It didn't really play out that way, but every now and then he reminds us how special he is.
Teofimo is a two-division Ring Magazine champion. In both fights where he won the Ring Magazine championship, he was the underdog. 4-1 underdog against Lomachenko. People forget, Lomachenko was taking elite fighters in the lower divisions and they were quitting.
Yes.
He was beating them into some, they were like, I can't do this, right? And Teofimo beat him. Right, he outboxed him.
Yeah, he didn't do it by physically imposing himself on him.
He outboxed him, he outfought him, he had speed, power, and then again, against Josh Taylor at junior welterweight, he was the underdog, so he saves his best for his biggest moment.
Lopez himself claimed that he plans to make the fight ugly and force exchanges using size and strength at 140 pounds to break Stevenson's rhythm and land big shots, potentially leading to a stoppage rather than a slow decision.
Very talented, skillful, technique fighter. Yeah. Can't take anything away from it. However, scared to get hit. Scared to get knocked out in front of the world, scared to get touched up in front of the world.
Are you saying that off of the last fight or just
in general?
In general.
In general.
Yeah.
In general. Me and Shakur sparred before. We did 3 rounds and it was just light work and me trying to figure out his jab. Does he have a good jab? Yeah, he does. But once you pass his jab, it's game.
According to Shane Mosley, Stevenson may be making a big mistake by jumping into a fight with such an explosive fighter at 140 pounds. The concern isn't about Shakur's talent, but about how his body will respond after gaining weight.
I don't think that, well, maybe. I mean, Shakur might show some different, if he has to go after Teofimo, he might show some different type of heart that we haven't seen or different type of fighting we haven't seen. And vice versa, whereas Teofimo's hitting him with different shots off the angle, that is kind of giving, Shakur Stevenson trouble. We'll see about that. So we just don't know.
Yeah, the thing is I think people overlook of Teofimo is he can box when he wants to. Like, he's shown he has a slick style too when he wants to do that.
When he wants to do that. So if you have a slick style and you got power and you got the speed too, and you're fighting at 140, so let's see, I don't know if Shakur Stevenson is going to get slower moving up in weight or not, where Teofimo can hit him. Maybe he was really fast at 130, 26-30, maybe 35, but 40, you put on a little bit more weight. I think that he holds the weight probably really, really good, but you just don't know.
Fighters who made similar jumps warned that Stevenson could look noticeably slower at 140, losing the sharp footwork and lightning-quick reactions that define his dominance, while Lopez thrives on speed, power, and physicality at that weight.
With this scenario, what if it's the Teofimo that beat Lomachenko? What if that Teofimo shows up?
Like I said, at Lomachenko, it's a not easy fight. Teofimo's able to be in the ring with different type of fighters and figure it out. The fighters that Shakur Stevenson was in with, they couldn't figure it out or get close to figuring it out. Whereas Teofimo had to figure out that type of style, and Lomachenko is a hard fight to fight. So that's why this fight is so interesting. And for Shakur Stevenson to move to 140 to fight him is definitely a hats off to him.
Do you have a favorite on paper in that fight at all, Shane?
I believe it's 50-50. It's a fight that I just have to sit down and watch and just want to see, like I said, who imposed their will on the.
Experts like Andre Ward believe the smallest margins, execution on fight night, timing, and conditioning could decide the winner because stylistically there's little to separate them at the top level.
Both, because Teo knows it's going to be a real fight. Shakur knows it's going to be a real fight. And I look at Shakur like a fighter who has a blank canvas. He's got the IQ, he got the experience, and the athleticism and the skill set where he can paint any type of picture he wants to on a blank canvas. When I look at Teofimo Lopez, he's almost that. He has a blank canvas, but he needs an outline on what to draw and what to paint inside the line. Now, every now and again, he'll go away from the outline that he has and he'll do something dope and you'll be like, oh, that was cool. That wasn't on the outline right there. But I don't think that he can create on the fly like a Shakur Stevenson. But what he does bring to the table and what Shakur does have to deal with is explosive power, quick twitch, muscles, and the type of punches that he likes to throw. And Teo doesn't have the foot game that Shakur has, but he's got a decent foot game.
Max Kellerman points out that Shakur enters a fight with more to lose because of his technical reputation and undefeated image. Teofimo, on the other hand, has more to gain as an underdog, where pressure is lower and opportunity is higher, making the fight dangerous and unpredictable.
Is fighting to protect that perfect record, to protect that kind of sense that he's the next guy. On the other hand, Teo is like he can fight with more abandon against Shakur because there's so much for him to gain. And if he loses, he's lost before. He's lost to Camp.
Paulie Mullen-Odge notes that Shakur Stevenson's elite defensive skills make him a special talent that's hard to beat. However, he also believes that if Teofimo Lopez brings his absolute best performance, he can upset Stevenson and win the fight.
Is at his most dangerous when he's counted out. And this is going to be one of those fights where he's going to be counted out. Because Shakur is looked at by and large as the guy who can dominate boxing in this generation, right? It's just a matter of him getting the opportunity. I myself have felt that he's the guy who could and should be dominating boxing if he gets the right matchups. But bro, this is one of the rare matchups, if not maybe the only matchup, where I feel like is a big threat here to Shakur. And then it would all come undone because of this reason. Teofimo Lopez, we've seen him at his best, but he typically brings out his best characteristics when he's back against the wall and he's counted out. And he's going to be counted out in this fight. By and large, people are going to side with Shakur in this fight to win the fight because he's the more consistent fighter, he's the more class fighter overall, and he's just so damn good. There's just something about Teofimo, man. He brings out a different level and somehow supersedes that guy who is that damn good. I've seen it. We've seen it already. I'm not saying anything that anybody else hasn't already seen, okay? I'm just stipulating it. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know who wins this fight. Because again, your better head says Shakur, but then you think about, man, Teofimo Again,
He's got
what
the X factor.
I just explained.
He's got the talent to
I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Shakur is extremely talented and could be the face of boxing as far as being that good and being that dominant, even though no matter how good you are. But this is one of the rare fights where you can get beat. And I don't ever want to hear any of you tank nut huggers that he fights one Uber driver after another. If Shakur Stevenson loses this fight, I don't ever want to hear any of you saying, oh, well, what about Shakur now?
While Teofimo's explosiveness and power give him a real chance to win, he must be prepared for Shakur Stevenson's elite defensive skills and movement, which are key to Stevenson's strategy to control distance, frustrate Lopez, and avoid big shots.
That being said, then what does Teo got to do to win?
He has to get Shakur up. How would I say this? I don't want to just make it seem like come across as if Shakur is novice, but the times that Shakur is putting himself against the ropes, this is the time that Teofimo is going to have to depend on his explosiveness. He's going to have to depend on his offset lead right hands. He's going to have, but even doing that, everything with Teo comes off his front foot, his explosiveness, his speed, everything. So it's almost like whenever the times he gets Shakur up against the rope, he got to pick his shots well, but then after that he have to be ready to defend, because with Shakur, the return is always coming. So he got to go into the offensive lane, but he have to go into it with good defense, which in my opinion, he really don't do that good when he's going into offense. He usually come in to an offense lane like with his lead hand down, coming with head movement. But I just believe when you do get closer to Shakur, he's going to have to overload with work. He's going to have to really double up with one hand. He's going to have to use his feet, bust angles, things of that nature. So
Devin Haney claims that for Teofimo Lopez to beat Shakur Stevenson, he must be much more active and assertive throughout the fight. Lopez's natural explosiveness and power can be dangerous. Still, his output in recent bouts has been inconsistent and measured, which can allow a highly technical and mobile fighter like Stevenson to dictate the pace and rhythm. Stevenson excels at movement, counterpunching, and controlling distance. So, Lopez must sustain higher punch volume, press forward aggressively, and force engagements rather than waiting for perfect openings. Increased activity will disrupt Stevenson's spacing and prevent him from settling into the defensive rhythm that typically frustrates pressure fighters.
With boxing, I'm excited to see that. Styles make fights. I think Shakur is just a more superior boxer. I think that Teo is athletic and he has skills, but I see Shakur winning.
Do you think Teo, to win a fight like that, would have to be a little bit more active? He seems like he likes to throw one punch at a time.
Yeah, I mean, I think that he could be athletic, but I think he would just have to be, it would have to be a method to his madness for sure. I don't think athletic would just.
Teofimo Lopez makes it clear that he will not allow Shakur Stevenson to take the belt he worked so hard to earn. He emphasizes the sacrifices behind his success, explaining that the title represents years of struggle, pain, and dedication. For Teofimo, this fight is about protecting what he built through hard work and perseverance. He believes strongly in himself and is determined to defend his position in the ring. Lopez views this moment as personal, driven by pride and effort, and insists that no one can take away something he earned through blood, discipline, and commitment.
Exactly. Of being in the ring.
Yes.
Shakur Stevenson. Obviously, you guys are both in Las Vegas. I'm hearing that you did link up today. A face-off happened between the two of you?
Yeah, face-off happened. Things of that nature, just to create the things that are in motion already. So we're really adamant about fighting each other next, and I can't wait for us to really lace it up. And I see him across the ring, and really when that bell rings, lights out for him.
What's it like seeing him now kind of face to face? When you look at him, what do you see? Because obviously you're not locked in just yet, and the closer it gets to a fight, obviously things turn a little bit. But when you do look at Shakur, what do you think of him?
I think I don't think too much of it. I think that he believes in himself. That's one thing. But I'm here to destroy his dreams and all that he wants to do and become. You can't take this from me. I worked very hard for it. I've bled for this, and I'm not taking nothing from him, but I just believe that what's gonna happen next is for destiny in the boxing ring to decide. Let the people really see what it was and has always been: the best fighting the best, and the winner becomes the man or the woman.
Yeah. fighting Shakur Stevenson, he is an exceptional fighter. He comes under a lot of criticism, though, for his style of fighting. Some people describe him as a boring fighter. How do you think the fight between you two will play out, and what do you think needs to happen to negate people saying that about that fight?
No, that's a well-thoughtful question. You know, honestly, it's a real nice assessment to see how everyone looks at a certain fighter, right? And I think that holds on to Shakur Stevenson when people say he's boring or he's not as entertaining. And I think that with a fighter like himself, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He's undefeated for a reason, you know. Maybe some people don't like it, but this is why the takeover is here, you know, to make it at least fun and make it great, and do what I can to engage on that. Now, how do we do that? Well, you guys got to